Good evening viewers, welcome to Power Sector News. Today's headlines. Nuclear energy may continue its dominant position in France. Price of permits in Europe Union carbon market closed at record high. Updates related to renewable projects. Updates related to electric vehicle ecosystem. Coming to the details. President of France unveiled his new nuclear strategy in eastern industrial town of Belfort. As per the strategy, France will build at least 6 new nuclear reactors in the decades to come, placing nuclear power at the heart of country's drive for carbon neutrality by 2050, and also to extend the lifespan of older nuclear power plants in the world's most nuclear intensive country to more than 50 years from more than 40 years currently for certain reactors, provided it is safe. The new plants would be built and operated by state-controlled energy provider EDF, and the tens of billions of euros in public financing would be mobilized to finance the projects and safeguard EDF's finances. EDF estimates the cost of 6 nuclear reactors at about 50 billion euros depending on financing condition. The announcements come at a difficult time for debt-laden EDF, which is facing delays and budget overruns on new nuclear plants in France and Britain, and corrosion problems in some of its aging reactors. The first new reactor, an evolution of European pressurized reactor, would come online by 2035. Studies for further 8 reactors beyond the initial 6 new plants would be launched. But EDF's EPR reactors have suffered a troubled history. EPR projects at Flamanville in France and Hinkley Point in Britain are running years behind the schedule and billions over budget, while EPR reactors in China and Finland have been hit by technical issues. Nuclear safety still divides Europe after Japan's Fukushima disaster in 2011. Certain countries have made the extreme choice of turning their back on nuclear energy. France has not made that choice. President's decision to extend the lifespan of existing plants marked a U-turn on an earlier pledge to close more than a dozen of EDF's 56 reactors by 2035. France lobbied hard for nuclear to be labeled as sustainable under new European Commission rules on green financing. If the new Europe Union taxonomy rules are approved, it should reduce the cost of financing nuclear energy projects. France will also increase its solar power capacity tenfold by 2050 to more than 100 gigawatt and target building 50 offshore wind farms with combined capacity of at least 40 gigawatt. Known as the Union Emissions Trading System, Europe's carbon market compels factories, power plants and airlines to pay for each ton of carbon dioxide they emit. The higher the permit price, the greater the cost of producing planet warming emissions. Although some receive free permits to help them stay cost competitive in global markets. The benchmark Europe Union carbon permit contract traded as high as 97.5 euros per ton, the highest since the carbon market launched in 2005. The carbon price has risen more than 200% since the start of 2021 due to the factors including soaring gas prices that have also prompted some power generators to switch to coal, resulting in higher emissions and demand for permits. Analysts expecting the symbolic 100 euro level could soon be breached. By putting a price on pollution, the Europe Union ETS provides a financial incentives for companies to cut emissions and invest in green technologies. For years, the price was too low to encourage that given the huge upfront investments needed to scale green technologies in sectors like cement and steel making. At a carbon dioxide price of 100 euros, industry estimates suggest carbon capture and storage technology could be cost effective in applications including refineries, although other technologies such as hydrogen produced from renewable energy would need still higher carbon dioxide costs. Department of Energy of Philippines, through its Green Energy Auction Program, launched an auction to allocate 2 gigawatt of renewable energy capacity across its 3 main power territories. The department is expected to allocate 1.26 gigawatt of solar power capacity, 380 megawatt of wind power, 180 megawatt of biomass and 80 megawatt of hydropower capacity. Of the 1.26 gigawatt of solar capacity, 900 megawatt of solar projects will be installed in Luzon, 260 megawatt in Visayas, and the remaining 100 megawatt in Mindanao. Meanwhile, Luzon and Visayas will install 360 megawatt and 20 megawatt of wind capacity respectively. The National Grid ESO of UK has awarded a first reactive power contract to Dogger Bank Sea offshore wind farm, which will provide 200 MVA reactive power for a period of 10 years commencing in 2024 to maintain grid stability. Beve, a renewable service provider, energy developer and distributor, has agreed to acquire 700 megawatt of Spanish PV development portfolio from QRCAS, a specialist investor in renewable energy. Aqua Capital signed agreement with Viridi Renewable Energy and Solar Ambition for 500 megawatt solar PV projects marks another step in our commitment to generate clean energy and contribute to reaching a net zero carbon economy. General Motors company plans to increase production of electric trucks and Cadillac sport utility vehicles this year by more than 6 times the previously planned output. New details shared with suppliers indicate General Motors intends to increase production of its electric trucks and a new battery powered Cadillac SUV to a total of 46,000 vehicles this year, up from a previous plan to build just 7,000 of those vehicles this year. An Australian electric vehicle charging company Tritium will establish its first US manufacturing facility in Tennessee, which is a result of the US government's effort to build a national network of electric vehicle chargers. Tritium is expected to produce up to 30,000 charging stations in a year at a new facility near Nashville. Tennessee produced charging stations will be a reflection of the bipartisan infrastructure deal, which provides $7.5 billion in federal grants to build a network of charging stations. Electric vehicle charging solutions company BrightBlue has secured $1.6 million investment from Dutch clean energy conglomerate Koelen Industries that will help accelerate its international expansion. The Mumbai-based startups made in products cater to Indian and European markets. BrightBlue has developed and designed the entire intelligent charging technology stack in-house, and the investment will help fund further in-house research and development of both plug and charge vehicle to grid solutions. Additional news today. EUROfusion Group supported JET project achieved 59 megajoules of energy over a 5-second period. 11 megawatt per second power equivalent through fusion reactions, exceeding the previous mark of 22 megajoules achieved in 1997. This achievement will help the larger scale ITER experiment currently under construction in southern France. ITER is a fusion research project supported by China, European Union, India, Japan, South Korea, Russia and United States. HydroPower Projects can avail sustainability fund backed by Swiss government, International Hydropower Association and Hydropower Sustainability Council to finance an independent assessment of projects ESG, environmental, social and governance performance. This initiative, funded by the Swiss government State Secretariat for Economic Affairs, is now in its 4th round of funding and recently awarded 6 grants across 6 countries in Africa and South America. AGL Energy Limited plans to shut Australia's 2 biggest polluters a few years earlier as the aging coal plants struggle to compete against rising renewable generation. The Bayswater facility in New South Wales will close by 2033, 2 years earlier than previously planned, while Loy Yang A in Victoria will now halt by 2045 instead of 2048. The two facilities are huge polluters, spewing out almost 31 million tons of carbon dioxide in 2019-2020, or almost 10% of all Australia's reported emissions. Green hydrogen company Life raised 17 million euros from Andira Partners. This is Life's third fundraiser. Most of the funds came from Andira Partners via its new green infrastructure investment fund, Andira Infra. Ovive and the risk capital company Society Financier Lorient Development also back Life in this fundraising. The purpose of this third fundraising is to support Life's strategy for the deployment of renewable hydrogen production sites in Europe. Price discovery at Power Exchange. National Load Dispatch Center has scheduled 188.52 million units of power for tomorrow, cleared through Indian Energy Exchange. Coming to the price discovery details. Price discovered during night 2 rupees 56 paisa per unit. Price discovered during day 3 rupees 57 paisa per unit. Price discovered during evening 4 rupees 85 paisa per unit. Price discovered round the clock 4 rupees 6 paisa per unit. Weighted average price is 4 rupees 20 paisa per unit. There is no congestion for power transfer in the network and the prices are uniform in all the regions. In green day-ahead market, 6.21 million units of volume cleared with a weighted average price of 5 rupees 5 paisa per unit. Thank you and good day.